Hi and welcome to the Radio Room channel. A few videos coming up soon on some radio testing, and just a brief rundown on the problems here of where we are to what we want to try and listen to. We're in Essex, here, kind of northeast Essex, but where I lived as a youngster, it was still in Essex, and we lived, most of my life lived under Lambourne Hold, near Lambourne VOR, which is like the Clacton sector, obviously into Heathrow, which is meant to be one of the busiest in the world, obviously before the lockdown. And where we are here on the remote station where the actual radio room is now, which is northeast Essex, we're kind of just north of the Hold. But obviously we're interested in receiving here, as always, Heathrow North Director and approach and whatever. Problem is from here that, as we said many times before, the signal actually comes out of somewhere of a transmitter we thought was about 30 miles, 35 miles away. And as you've probably seen in our previous videos, we've been to visit lots of ATC transmitter sites. And whilst nowadays you can find out where they are from places online where people have found out, they don't actually list the director, north-south director for Heathrow and other airports and approach transmissions, where they come from. And we would have thought that, as we can see on here, this is Heathrow North Director 119725. We would have thought that this would have come out of North London, Northwest London. In our case, we would have thought Greenford. So as you've probably seen from some of our videos, we went and been there a few times. It doesn't. South Director comes out of Greenford in North London. And we finally found that North Director comes out of South London, or Southwest Surrey actually, out of Reigate. So that's something like about 45 miles line of sight from here. As you know, VHF is normally right for 20 or so without repeaters. So to get it from here is quite a chore. As you know, we've got a lot of 40-foot odd tower outside with a very high quality VHF airband only Yagi on it. Good, obviously, coax. Try and leave it as short run as possible. And we still have to use a preamp, obviously, to get that far. We also need a radio of not less than about 0.7 UV, millivolts if you want, as it should be, for sensitivity. Anything over that, you can't really pick it up well at all. So that defines what kind of radios we're using. They're normally the airband radios we use to test, because they seem to be the best ones anyway. People have said, as far as using preamps, obviously, and yes, we know if you use a head preamp it's better because you can make up for loss of cable. We've tried that here. For some reason we seem to get, like last night, an awful lot of lightning in the area. Don't know why, an unusual amount. Always seem to get it bad here. And in this particular area, very open, it's out in the middle of a load of fields in Essex, very high wind. So we've had some bad instances of mast top amplifiers. So we've not gone down that route for a while, and we've used preamplifiers here in the shack, as you can see. So yeah, there's a bit of loss in the cable obviously there, and people have said, of course, that well, it's great having an amplifier, but all you're going to do is bring in a load of rubbish, a load of crap as well, which is true. But the fact is that for what we want to get to 45-50 mile away, we can barely hear it without an amplifier. At least if we amplify it, we've then got the signal, and we can apply noise reduction, which gets rid of the crap, and it does. So this is a signal from almost 50 miles away, and remember,
measuring 21 miles, descent to altitude 4,000 feet, ft-991a.
So that's the transmission, which is really nice and clear. It's in fact kind of basically like Radio 1, really, almost. But we do need noise reduction, and we need good noise reduction. It doesn't sound as if it's in a load of water. So we need a radio, nothing worse than about 0.7 millivolts, and good noise reduction. And this is where some of the radios of later fell short. The ICOM 705 we thought would be good. Sensitivity is quite good. Can't remember what it was, 0.7, something like that. But as I've found in a lot of ICOM radios, 7300s and 705 obviously, is that the DSP is not great. Noise reduction I don't find great. A lot of people have commented on it. Sounds as if you're in a load of water, if you're in swimming bars or whatever, and that's no good. So the next radio that we're going to test, and we did some tests at a radio shop actually, is the 991. Again, about 0.7 millivolts, but the DSP is really good. The yaesu seem to have got the DSP off to a hat rather than ICOM. Did some testing of this on airband actually near Heathrow in the shop, next to 705, and this was better. What it's going to be like here, we don't know. So at the moment, obviously this station is remoted. I'm not often here anymore, which is why I've not done any videos in the shack for a while. Although we are going to change that. We are going to start doing videos in the shack again. At the moment, obviously we're using the Yagi, and we're using a Wellbrook outside amongst some other antennas. We've got cross-country wireless and some MLA30s out in the field as well, but mainly we use the Wellbrooks. And inside, this is the mess down here, so to speak. So we've got the Wellbrook, obviously bias T if you want to call it that, and we've got the amplifier for the airband, as we just spoke about. They both go into a T. This is a really good item actually, this diamond splitter. Don't seem to lose hardly anything. And then it goes off obviously out into an airspy discovery, which is what we use on a daily basis, because obviously this has only got one port, but we have found that this is better than the HF Plus dual port, better radio, so that's why we bother using this. To use a 991, obviously we've got to split these, because these go in separately into the back of the 991. But then we'll have to use some more of these, I guess, to actually be able to run the airspy as well at the same time. And we want to do some comparison tests, obviously, and let's actually see how good this 991 is going to be. So basically that's the simple setup that we run and we use here every day. It's remoted obviously from somewhere else in Essex where I live. That in itself is about 30 odd mile away. And let's see how we go with the 991. There will be some tests against other radios in the 991 obviously, of course, and more stuff in the Radio Shack. Okay, thanks for watching.